Well, a water row has broken out over the future of the Murray-Darling Basin on the eve of a crucial plan being released. Leaked reports say deep cuts to water entitlements will be recommended. Irrigators are warning of thousands of job losses, but conservationists say the proposed cuts are needed to save the river system. Meanwhile, Julia Gillard has broken another election promise. Late today, she announced she has scrapped the 150-person Citizens' Assembly on climate change. Susan McDonald reports from Canberra.
It's a sight not seen for almost a decade. The Murray mouth is open and flowing. The new minister sees cause for optimism but not complacency.
It's the fact that we have some good rains, the fact that we have some good river flows again at the moment should not cause anyone to believe we no longer need reform of the basin. Reform is something that needs to continue.
The first instalment of a three-part Murray-Darling Basin plan is about to be released. It'll map out the future for the river system, most importantly, how much water irrigators can take. After weeks of delay, details of the report have been leaked and farmers are fuming.
We're dealing with people's livelihoods here. There's families and communities on a knife edge, waiting for information.
Cuts of 27 to 37% in allocations are expected. That would return up to 4,000 billion litres to the system.
It would be a disaster for regional Australia, for many of the communities in the basin. Numbers of this magnitude would cost thousands of jobs, would put upward pressure on food prices for all Australians.
Environmental groups say the targets are what's needed.
That volume of water will reconnect, the river to the floodplain, which needs to keep it alive, help water birds breed, fish breed, reconnect the river to places like the Coorong and the mouth of the Murray to flush out pollution from the river system more regularly.
But it'll come at a cost. Compensation for water users is estimated at more than $5 billion. The minister is confirming nothing and appealing to all sides.
Everybody wants to see that we have a healthy river. We also need to be mindful of the importance of food production. We need to understand the impacts on regional communities.
Once the report's released, a lengthy process will begin. There'll be basin-wide consultation to help the government find an acceptable compromise, balancing the interests of environmentalists and farmers. Building consensus is a goal the government's becoming familiar with.
G'day, hi, how are you?
The new Climate Change Committee had its first meeting. It's commissioned fresh research from expert Ross Garno and officially dumped Labor's policy of a Citizens' Assembly. In its place, there'll be a commission to guide national debate on a carbon price.
The Climate Change Commission would be staffed by experts who would be available to speak to people on the science, for example. Many people hear very confusing claims about the science and they want to understand them at a level of detail.
Action on climate change may be slow going, but the government can take comfort that the economy keeps chugging along. The latest job figures show employment rose almost 50,000 in September, more than double expectations, while the jobless rate remained steady at 5.1%.
We've seen more people move into employment, the highest number ever of Australians in employment, and very strong full-time jobs growth.
The news helped boost the Australian dollar above 99 US cents, its highest level since floating 27 years ago.
I think you could well and truly get parity in the next few months. We would expect the strength to be early next year.
And there are now heightened expectations the Reserve Bank will raise interest rates soon.
A 4.5% cash rate isn't going to be appropriate for much longer, and we definitely think there is an increased risk of a November hike, and if not November, probably December.
Not the Christmas delivery homeowners want. Susan McDonald, Late